line, you were talking about Wisconsin. Our NBC Mayor's poll has Joe Biden up 10 in Wisconsin, and in Michigan, a solid 8-point Biden lead there. Remember, these are two states Trump flipped in 2016, hadn't gone for a Republican since the 1980s.
It's dropped from 22 points all the way down to 18 points. That's what counts for suspense when you're talking about a landslide. So that was 84. Reagan won 49 states. Look, nobody's talking about this one being a 49-state landslide, but some very interesting things are happening with this electoral map. Again, at least right now, I want to take you through them. So what you have here, these are basically how the states voted in 2012, but we've taken 5 of them and we've made them gray. What are these 5 gray states? These are basically Rust Belt states. These are industrial Midwest states that Donald Trump thinks he can flip. They were blue states in 2012. If you look at Trump's strategy, if you look at the blue-collar voters he's going after, these are the kinds of states he thinks he can flip and get to 270. So the first question is, how is he doing in these states that are the most promising for him to flip, at least in his strategy? So let's take a look. First of all,
a couple things. I mean, the bottom line, you were talking about Wisconsin. Our NBC Mayor's poll has Joe Biden up 10 in Wisconsin, and in Michigan, a solid 8-point Biden lead there. Remember, these are two states Trump flipped in 2016, hadn't gone for a Republican since the 1980s. And the story you're seeing in Michigan and Wisconsin, and we've been seeing this in other states, particularly in the North, places where Biden's making inroads beyond what Hillary Clinton got in 2016, you're seeing the movement demographically among white voters. So
the same idiot in front of the same screen.
2008, won the white vote in Wisconsin by 5 points. He won it by 4 in Michigan. This was
it's like the same broadcast.
It's trended the other way since then. In 2012, Republicans won the white vote in both of these states. In 2016, it exploded. You see double digits there in Wisconsin, over 20 points. Trump margins among white voters in these states. But if you average,
and they still talk to their audience like they're idiots.
Wisconsin and in Michigan together in 2020, we're seeing a very different picture right now. Look at that.
I know, I'm just recording on my phone. I can do this better. It's just live now. I'm lazy and I don't want to find it.
2 in Michigan. Again, these numbers.
It's the same thing.
Back in 2008, and you remember, we talked so much in the wake of Trump's win in 2016, the Obama-Trump voters in Midwest states like Wisconsin and Michigan, they voted for Obama, they voted for Trump. Polling is suggesting some of them may now be voting for Joe Biden. Those are strong. Those are as strong as Democrats have done in polling among white voters in these states since Obama in 2008.
We have a poll out of Pennsylvania. This is a brand new poll. This came out a couple hours ago. NBC News, Marist. Well, look at this. A double-digit lead for Hillary Clinton in Pennsylvania. Hardly the first double-digit lead for Hillary Clinton in Pennsylvania. This is the third one we've seen in a week for her. So Donald Trump, Pennsylvania is a big target, but all the evidence we have right now says Pennsylvania is still favored to be a Democratic state. What about Ohio? We have a brand new poll out of Ohio, but he's not there right now. Clinton's still leading in Ohio. Another one, brand new NBC Mayor's poll out of Iowa today. Again, a little bit closer, but a 4-point lead for Hillary Clinton. Now, is Donald Trump ahead in Iowa? Not in this poll. That's the first thing that's going wrong for Trump. The bigger problem is this, though. These are the blue states he thinks he can flip. How about the red states he needs to hold? Check this out. Brand new numbers out of North Carolina. North Carolina was a Mitt Romney state in 2012. Well, right now in this poll, Hillary Clinton has the lead. Very close. Certainly Donald Trump could still win it. I'd call it a toss-up state, but we have seen polls putting Hillary Clinton ahead there. It is possible Hillary Clinton could end up flipping North Carolina, making it a blue state. Trump's problem, though, gets a lot worse than North Carolina. Look at this. Georgia, new poll, 7-point lead here for Hillary Clinton. Not the first poll that we've seen putting her ahead in Georgia. This is a state that last went Democratic back in 1992. Georgia, all this talk about Trump turning blue states red, we could see the opposite happening with Hillary Clinton having a double-digit lead nationally. But it's not just North Carolina. It's not just Georgia. Look at this. This came out just about 2 hours ago. Kansas, one of the most Republican states in the country. The margin here was more than 20 points for Mitt Romney in 2012. Donald Trump leading by just 5 points in Kansas. Remember there, that's the type of Republican Trump has been struggling with. And when Trump is struggling with that type of Republican, you're going to see this type of result. He could be vulnerable in a state like Kansas, polls that say Utah is not a sure thing for Trump. Just like we've seen polls that say Arizona, not a sure thing for Trump. In fact, there have been polls putting Hillary Clinton ahead there. When you get to a 10-point race nationally, which you have 4 polls in the last week saying Donald Trump could have to worry about Indiana. He could have to worry about Missouri if this holds up. And it's a big if. Again, Donald Trump could close the gap, could be a different story in a month. But if Hillary Clinton could sustain the kind of lead she has leaped out into this race, you could see other states that suddenly get crazy. States you wouldn't have even imagined, like a South Carolina, even a Texas. They could at least become competitive. And what it would mean doesn't mean Hillary Clinton's going to win all of these. It means we could have more competitive states than we ever imagined. That's the way the lay of the land right now at this low moment for Donald Trump. We'll be back right after this.
You're seeing the movement demographically among white voters. So check this out. This is the recent trend. Look, go back to 2008. Barack Obama was the Democratic candidate. He won the white vote in Wisconsin.
It's the same exact fucking thing they did. It's the same guy with the same fucking TV and the same stupid shit.
But if you average the polls that we're seeing so far in Wisconsin and in Michigan,
he looks exactly the same.
Very different among white voters. Trump's leading, but only by 2.
Did they learn anything?
Again, these numbers, they look a little similar to Barack Obama.
You look a little similar.